We all want our flights to be smooth, right? But there's this whole set of unwritten rules that can really make or break your trip. Well, today, we've got the inside scoop straight from the people who see it all, the flight attendants. So think of this as your new go-to checklist for making any flight way better, safer, and just more comfortable. So what is it that the pros in the aisle really wish we all knew before we even buckled up? I'll tell you, it goes way beyond just putting your tree table up. We're about to pull back the curtain on the crucial tips and secrets that can totally change how you fly. Okay, first up, let's talk about your health and your comfort. An airplane cabin is a really unique environment, so let's get into how to survive and maybe even thrive up there at 30,000 feet. You know that awful, plugged-up feeling you get in your ears when the plane is taking off? Well, that is not just some little annoyance. What's happening is the air pressure inside the cabin is changing way faster than your body can keep up with. And that creates this weird vacuum that actually stops your eardrums from vibrating like they should. So, how do you fix it? It's actually super simple. Just yawn or swallow. Either of those actions will open up your eustachian tube, which equalizes the pressure. But, and this is the big one, you have to be awake to do it. If you're asleep during takeoff or landing, that pressure just builds and builds, and that can lead to some serious pain, dizziness, or even temporary hearing loss. So save that nap for when you're at cruising altitude. All right, let's talk about hygiene. You might want to think twice before you order that coffee. The water it's made with often comes from these old tanks that can be breeding grounds for bacteria. And the seat back pocket? Oh boy. Flight attendants have found literally everything in there, from used diapers to dirty underwear. As for the windows and blankets, yeah, they're not always cleaned between flights. So my advice, stick to bottled water and maybe bring your own travel blanket. Do you ever notice how your mouth starts to feel like the Sahara Desert after you've been on a plane for a little while? That's because the air that's being pumped into the cabin from 30,000 feet has almost zero moisture in it. It's incredibly dry, and that dryness has some real effects on your body. And for anyone who wears contact lenses, this is a huge deal. That desert dry air literally sucks the moisture out of your eyes, which makes your lenses tighten up. This can actually cause tiny little tears on your cornea. Yeah, ouch. The easy fix here is to just bring some eye drops to keep your eyes lubricated. And whatever you do, please don't fall asleep with your contacts in. Now, sitting still for hours on end isn't just boring, it's a genuine health risk. It can lead to something called deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. This is when your blood flow slows way down and clots start to form in your legs. It's not only painful, it can become life-threatening if a piece of that clot breaks off and travels up to your lungs. And get this, it doesn't take that long for the risk to kick in. On some of these super long flights today, you're at risk after just 4 hours of sitting still. So the advice is simple. Get up, stretch, and move around a bit. Just, make sure you only do it when the seatbelt sign is turned off. Okay, next up, let's talk about safety. And I want to be clear, these are not polite suggestions. These are critical, non-negotiable rules that are there to keep every single person on board safe. Let's start with maybe one of the scariest things you could ever see on a flight. Back in 2021, a passenger on an American Airlines flight had a complete mental breakdown. She attacked the crew and then tried to open the main cabin door while they were in the air. It got so bad that they actually had to duct tape her to her seat for the rest of the flight. Just a terrifying situation. But here's the question. Could she have actually opened it? Well, take a look at this number. At cruising altitude, there is about 1,100 pounds of air pressure pushing against every single square foot of that door. That's like having a small polar bear leaning on every little part of that door. So the bottom line is, it's physically impossible. Because the doors are designed to open inwards first, you'd literally need superhuman strength to fight against that much pressure. So while trying to do it is a serious federal crime, you can definitely rest easy knowing that door is staying shut. Ever wonder why they're so insistent about keeping your electronics in your carry-on? Well, here's why. If a lithium battery catches fire in the cabin, the crew can see it, they can get to it, and they can put it out quickly. But if that exact same fire starts down in the cargo hold, it's hidden, it's inaccessible, and it could spread without anyone knowing, which could be absolutely catastrophic. And what's the real deal with airplane mode? Let's bust a quick myth. It's not really about preventing the plane from just falling out of the sky. The real reason is that your phone's signal can actually interfere with the pilot's navigation equipment because they use similar radio frequencies. This is especially critical during takeoff and landing. In fact, back in 2017, it's thought that a cell signal caused a Boeing 737's navigation displays to just go dark mid-flight.
All right, finally, let's talk about just being a good neighbor. I mean, these are the simple rules of etiquette for sharing a tiny space with a bunch of strangers that just make the flight better for everyone. Don't be that person.
Believe it or not, airlines actually have dress codes. And yes, they can deny you boarding if you don't follow them. Things like clothes that are too revealing or ripped can get you turned away at the gate. And it's also just smart to be mindful of where you're flying to. If you're headed to a more conservative country, it's a good idea to dress a little more modestly.
Okay, this one should be obvious, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Please, for the love of all that is holy, keep your shoes on. That cabin floor is not a clean place. Flight attendants will tell you horror stories. Those carpets have seen vomit, spilled food, and all kinds of other things you don't even want to think about. Walking around barefoot is just, no, don't do it.
Now, let's go beyond just common courtesy and talk about the things that just defy all common sense. We've all seen someone try to cram a giant bag into the overhead bin, but what about the truly bizarre carry-ons? You would not believe some of the things people have tried to bring on board. And I mean, things can get pretty wild. One guy tried to smuggle a venomous Egyptian cobra in his luggage. It bit him and then escaped, forcing an emergency landing. Another time, 2 tarantulas got loose and were just roaming the cabin. And, of course, before the rules got tightened up, people tried to bring everything from peacocks to pigs on board as emotional support animals. And a final, very serious point on this. Never, ever joke about security. In 2018, a Green Bay Packers player jokingly asked his friend at check-in if he'd packed the explosives. He was arrested on the spot and charged with making a false bomb threat. Airport staff are legally required to take every single threat seriously. It's just never funny.
So, let's bring it all in for a nice, smooth landing. Here's a final rundown of what we've learned to make your next flight a great one.
So what does this all boil down to? It's pretty simple, really. First, take care of yourself. Stay hydrated and steer clear of those germy hotspots. Second, respect the rules. They really do exist for a reason, for your safety and the crew's. And finally, just be considerate. A little bit of that goes a long, long way when you're all sharing a metal tube in the sky.
Following these guidelines should make flying a lot more predictable, but as we all know, that's not always the case. So now that you've got the Insider's Guide, we want to hear from you. What is the absolute craziest airplane story you've got? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for tuning in.